All right, so what is going on, everyone out there to the MPC community? If anybody comes across this video, there's a question that I have that I've been asking for a long time and I've been looking into myself, but I can't seem to find an answer to this question. I don't know why nobody knows the answer to this or can't give me an answer. I know a lot about sound and music and, hardware, software. I know a lot about it, but my question here for everybody out there, and it doesn't have to be the MPC community, to whoever out there that makes music or is into sound or music. When the new plugins like the Fabric XL, the OP 4 or OPX, OXP. I don't know exactly the name. I'm on here right now, but I'm not going to go through it. Um, those plugins, the orchestral plugins, the studio strings, those plugins, hype, are those considered hardware going into hardware, or are they software going into this? The MPC one, are they considered software? Is it software going into hardware, or is it hardware going into hardware, or is it hardware that is being transferred into the MPC but then is software? You see, nobody can give me an answer. Are these plugins, are they software or are they hardware? Now, I know more than likely they're probably software because I have a very good ear and I can tell the difference between hardware and software. To my ears, I can tell a difference between the two. I've been making music on hardware my whole life. I started out on drum machines. I started out on a Zoom RT323 that had 323 drum sounds and like Mario sounds. So I know, starting off with those drum machines, the Boss Dr. Groove 202, the Street Kangs SB 246, I know what hardware sounds like, and I can tell the difference when I'm on the Akai. It's lacking some kind of dynamic there. It's when you hit the kicks and the snares, it's not like hardware. It doesn't have that little tiny more punch, in my opinion. That extra little crispiness, if you know what I'm saying, if you're somebody that's been making music. But the reason I'm asking this is because I was going to get those plugins months ago and I decided to get a keyboard that I really couldn't afford anyway at all. I'm making payments on it, but I might have to take it back because something came up to where I can't afford it anymore. So I'm kind of stuck in a situation where, do I want to save up my money at this part-time job and keep this keyboard, or do I want to take this back and get the plugins on the Akai, the studio strings, the Fabric XL, because I like the sounds. It's just, it seems like there is just a little bit of something missing in them. And if there's anyone out there that you have some kind of effects rack, or you have something that you use to spicing up the sound, like chorus effects, delay and flanger and echo sounds, and reverbs and stuff. I know that the reverb Big Sky, that sounds really good. I know that there is, I know that the company that makes the Big Sky and the Time Skyline or something, it's a dark blue one. They have a couple effects pedals that are real, that make sounds really sound nice. But what I'm saying here is, see, I can get deep into this because I love sound. I love making music. That's what I do all the time when I'm bored or don't have nothing to do. That's what I always do. But I'm just wondering, can someone answer, is the studio strings, the hype plugin, the Fabric XL, the Mini D, I think it's called Mini D, the analog, and let me know, do any of you have any of you got the Mini D plugin? They say it is an analog plugin, and I want to get more into the analog stuff because it sounds thicker, it sounds different too. And even people talk about how analog for them is the way for them. And I know for me, I like digital and I like analog and I like software drums. But there's something about the synthesizers and the orchestral stuff. I like the sound, but it just doesn't seem to bring that emotion. It doesn't seem to fulfill that part of my brain where when I'm listening to it, I'm like, ooh, that's it. That's it right there. Now, if I add some reverb or EQ or delay or chorus or whatever, and I mess with the sound, then I put compression and all that on it. Yeah, I know I can get it to sound better, and I'm not on here to down the sounds. I just am wondering, maybe I'm missing something for myself that I'm not recognizing or understanding. I know a lot about this, but it's like, besides that, I'm not able to get the sounds like I want them to be, if that makes sense. Even though they're almost there. It's like they're almost there, but see, it's really weird. The drum sounds on this thing are great. They're phenomenal. The drum kits that I have on this, I can use these. I don't need any more drum kits because a while ago I bought an SD card that has a ton of drum kits. I mean, tons and tons of expansions, and I'm good. I don't need any more drums. Now I'm looking for very quality studio strings, bells, whistles, flutes, horns, trumpets, choir sounds, uh, like metallic, atmospheric stuff, pads. I'm looking for something very lush and something unique, something that no one else uses that I can make my own, because I think in the music realm today, there's too much. Everything sounds very similar. It seems like everyone wants to follow a niche, like a niche. I forget if it's called a niche or a niche, but it's like everybody wants to follow a genre or a type of music or a style or a technique. See, I don't go by any of that. I make something when I feel something, I let it be what it is and I make it. I don't make it try to be anything. I don't try to make it anything at all. I just do it and I make it. And I let it be what it is. I'm not trying to fit in anywhere or to prove something or to say, hey, look at the thing I'm doing. It's not like that. It's just simply making music. It's simply the love of sound and the love of putting a pattern together and turning the quantize off and making it my own swing. That's something that it's almost like I can't even explain to people. This is why when I do these videos, why I do them too, is because if I was someone out there and I was younger listening to this video and you are into that and you don't have anything yet, if I was that person, I'm not giving advice, I'm just saying for myself how I started out. And I'm so glad that I did that. I am so glad that I did that. I'm not boasting, I'm just saying I'm very glad that I went to the source. You see, I went to the ground. I started the ground up. I started from scratch. I started on drum machines. I started with having to tap on the buttons myself, having to apply the reverb myself, having to make something from scratch, from absolutely nothing, getting a keyboard and tapping on the keys. And it's like uh ingredients in front of you that you are experimenting to make your own recipes. And to me, that is the greatest thing of all. It's not just having loops there already. And if people do that, that's what they do. But it's not for me. It's like people that sample other people's music and they go right to that. It's like they want to already get something that is from somewhere else that someone has already started to work on, or it's something that has already been done or played and they want to take pieces of that. See, I don't I'm not into it's not that I won't sample. It's not that I won't sample anything. And I know people call sounds samples. I don't like using the word sample. I think the only way we should use sample is to say, would you like a sample of cheese? You see what I'm saying? I don't, it sounds like plagiarism, theft, sampling someone else's music. See, a drum, a kick, a snare, a hi-hat, a one shot, those things are sounds. They are one shot sounds. They are not sequences or patterns or a whole melody that someone might take and put it into a project. See, I'm not for that myself. I'm for taking hi-hats, one shot hi-hats, violins, bells, and starting from that alone. You see, that those are the ingredients to me. The violin's an ingredient. The bell is an ingredient. The drum, the kick is an ingredient. My voice is an ingredient. You see, the one shots are an ingredient that I can add, and then the spices are the sound effects. Those are the spices, the seasonings that we put on to the things that we're making. But it's almost like nobody wants to be a person that is not yet a chef. They don't want to work their way from the bottom to get to, see, I don't want to say like from the bottom up. It's not about that with me. It's just starting from scratch, literally starting something from scratch. And that is what makes this unit so amazing, is that everything is on here that I need, everything. But the only thing that is lacking to me, for me, is the synthesizer sounds and is the orchestral sounds. They're the ones that they give you for free, they're not bad, but they're just not my type of sounds. I use them, but overall, it's maybe one out of every 10 sounds that I might say, I'm okay, I can use that and I'm into. It's just, they're just not for me. They're not for my liking, my particular taste, my acquired taste. But I'm just wondering if somebody wants to comment about anything. I don't care what it is. I'm always up to hear what another person thinks about sound and music and however, whatever that they're doing. It's like, I don't want opinions or advice. I don't want that. I just want to hear of what someone else thinks for themselves. But the question that I have, and what I'm going to end this video on, is, are the plugins, are they software or are they hardware going into hardware, or are they software going into a hardware unit? You see, this is a hardware unit. The MPC-1 is a hardware unit. But I suppose that the plugins are software. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's what they are. But see, when you get the MPC Key 61, those plugins are already in there. So does that make them hardware or software? I'm pretty sure that they're software though. But do you see what I'm saying? Do we even like look into these things or anything? See, I'm I'm very particular. I'm very I get deep into these things. I can't help it. That's just the way my mind works. You know, I want to have one workstation, and I think that the MPC one and the MPC key is definitely the best workstation right now that anybody can have in the world. Just imagine if people had one of these units back in the day. Just imagine if John Lennon or Jimi Hendrix or some other drummer that made music back in the day, just imagine the music that would have been being made if they would have had these tools that we have. Yet it seems like we're so ungrateful. Like it's almost like we're unappreciative of sounds. You know, we call things cheesy and oh well, they're not worth it to me. You know, there's a lot of time being put into these things. You know, if you can't pay $100 for 1,000 sounds on a plugin, I mean, that just goes to show you how cheap we're being. You know, we don't appreciate the sounds. That's why we don't dig deep into them, because we don't appreciate them. I appreciate the sounds. It's just software does not sound like hardware to me. My ear, I have a very, very particular ear. When I hear things, even when I switch from 16-bit to 24-bit, I can hear the reverb tail cut off, and it's this there's a little more there. There's just a little more oomph, a little more clarity there that people say, oh no, you can't hear that. I can hear it. I can hear it. I'm someone that can hear it. Because, see, I'm very, like I said, I am very, very articulate. I am very precise with what I'm doing. And when I use sound effects, I mean, I will sit there for hours trying to get a reverb and a delay and a compression the exact way that I want it. Because, yes, I am a perfectionist, but at the same time, I turn the quantize off and I am letting it be what it is. It's perfectly imperfect, if that makes any sense to people. I'm a perfectionist. I'm just like Dr. Dre. I'm just like other musicians that say they're perfectionists. I'm the same exact way. But see, I've forced myself to not be perfect, if that makes sense. I'm going for what I know I want to hear, but I know that there's no such thing as perfect. That's stupid. Quantization is in some ways perfect. It's living up to, it's going by a standardized way of making the music, saying, okay, I know it's going to hit here. I know it's going to be here. I know that if I put it on 1/16, it's going to go. If I put it on 1/8, it's going to go. If I put it on 132, it's going to go. Or it's going to go. You know, it's going to go 2 times faster. I already know that. But lately, I have been turning the quantize off. And are some of my beats, the drums just have that offset feel, that offset swing, but that's something now that I really enjoy. I really like. I don't, even though I'm a perfectionist, I don't want to be perfect, if that makes sense. I know it sounds crazy, and I'm not against quantization either. I love quantization too. I make quantized beats, and sometimes I will quantize something and then I will not use quantize for another thing. I might quantize a hi-hat or a kick or something, and then I will turn it off for the synthesizer or the orchestral sound or the snare or whatever, the one-shot sound. I will not use it, you see, and this is how I'm always going about when it comes to me letting it happen like that. If my mind says don't use quantize, then I don't use it. If my mind says, well, maybe do this, then I do it. If my mind says, oh, a chorus effect is going to sound, that's where I want it, that's what I'm going to do. If I say this voice needs more reverb, then I'm going to go to the reverb and use reverb. You see, I think a lot of us, we hesitate because we're trying to follow a narrative. We're trying to sound like someone else, or we're trying to fit in or sound like another person. You can't sound like anybody but yourself. You can't make anything other than what you're going to make with the ingredients at hand, the ingredients in front of you. If I have salt, pepper, Himalayan salt, paprika, turmeric, then I'm going to have to make that work. If I have salt and pepper, then I'm going to have to make that work. Do I want to put more salt and a little pepper? Or do I want to put more pepper and a little salt? Or do I want to put a lot of pepper and a little salt? See, this is how I always think when I'm doing these things. And I know this doesn't have anything to do with the question that I asked, but just speaking about sound, just talking about drum machines and synthesizers and keyboards and how does someone go about getting into it? Like the natural occurrence that takes place. Where does that source come from? Where is that coming from? Where are these melodies and these sounds and these visions coming from in here and in the body? Like, this is what I wonder sometimes. I really wonder, this isn't me. This is not me making the music. The music is making itself. It's like a universal law going on here. It's like there's a source that's doing this. It's like every single cell and organism, every single thing in the body and around me is making the music. How can I say it's me making the music? Oh, it's me making the music. You see, we boast, we give ourselves too much credit with our pride and our ego and saying it's me, when really it's the environment. It was our upbringing. It was something that we heard a long time ago that somehow resonated in our mind. And then we said, wow, how are they doing that? And see, that's how I used to see things. I said, how are these people making this music? Where are they getting these sounds? Where is this coming from? How did they do that? And that was something that fascinated me so much. It just resonated to the very core of my being, the fiber of everything that this vessel is here. And it's something that I knew that I was going to be doing the rest of my life. I knew it was what I was going to be doing. And I'm someone, I don't want to be popular or famous. I just want to be what I am. I just want to make music. I just want to create art. I just want to learn a craft. I just simply want to be in the moment of doing it and do it and put it out, and that's it. And let it speak for itself. I can't call it. You see what I'm saying? I can't call it. It's just simply the act of making it and being there while it's being made. And I'm like, how is this even happening? How am I even doing this? You see what I'm saying? I can't give me credit. I have to give credit to everything. I have to say, this is the ultimate source of everything that is doing this. There is something besides what we think that we're seeing and hearing. It's kind of like the unseen realm of everything that we don't see in front of our face that we might be perceiving to be, but I don't look at it like that. I think there is an unseen realm, and I think that there are the whole fiber, the whole vibration, the whole everything that's going on that we can't see with the naked eye is doing this thing. That is the source of where this is coming from. You see, but we go, oh, we're doing it. My pride, I'm tough, I'm big, I'm hard, I'm strong, I'm better than. See, all that doesn't mean nothing to me anymore, Jack. You see what I'm saying? They can have that. They can have that message. That's not what I'm on today. You see, I'm on great calamity and agape. I'm for spreading the contradiction, the yin yang of this world, the left, the right, the black, the white, everything, and even in that being a middleman, showing both sides and saying, what's the point of comparison when we can just be? See, that's where my thought is. That's what I'm resonating on. So if anybody can answer that question, thank you. If you really know your stuff, because see, I like hearing from others that they know that they know that they know what they're after, or why they do what they do, or they have been there and done it so many times that they're looking for something new, even if there isn't too many new things to get. See, I'm always going for new ways to do something that nobody else has ever done. I don't want to follow the narrative. I don't want to make genres. I don't want to have techniques. I don't want to have uh, a set way of doing things. That's not how I think that art and persona and an individual uniqueness works. I don't think that's how it works. And for me, it doesn't. For me, it doesn't. When I reflect on myself, I don't look at it that way at all. I just let it be what it's going to be. And it somehow happens. It happens. It just happens. And Rick Rubin even talked about this in a video, how he talks about how you just got to let it happen. You can't force it. You can't try to make it happen. You can't try to want to fit in. You can't play to the gallery. This is something David Bowie said. If we're playing to the gallery, it's not real. It's fake. It's not genuine. It's not something that we're really going through, or something that we have seen in our lives, or that deep part of us that we don't show people. See, we keep that hidden, and we want to show something to try to be something, to try to look like something. And to me, it's all fake. And for myself, I don't have time for any of it. I'm not interested in any of it. I don't care for any of it. You see, because I know what I want to do, and I know what I like, and I know what resonates with me. So that's what I do. And I'm just saying this to each their own out there. Do you know what you want? Or do you still have motives and intentions for why you do what you do, or why we do what we do? See, I don't even have motives or intentions. I do it because it's there, and it's something that resonates, and it's something that is real in the moment. No fakery. I don't have to sit here and have a plan in front of me. I don't have to have an agenda. I don't have to sit here and think of things. See, if we could learn how to just let things flow like a river, and stop trying to put up a dam to say we got to stop the water from flowing, that's just holding things up. That's holding things back. That's where it becomes stale and stagnant. The water starts getting green and moldy and funky, and it's not flowing. The water has to continually flow, like Bruce Lee said. You can either crash or you can flow, my friend, and flow like water. Be water, my friend. Flow. Let it be what it is. Don't try to make it something for people. See, we're in the age of this validation thing, where we're seeking and we're searching for validation from others, and we don't know how to be. We don't know how to just let it be. And the thing that comes to the mind, say, okay, this is what is coming to my mind. When I hear this, what am I thinking? What is my thought as I'm hearing that? But see, most of the world's thought is, I got to be tough for them. I got to look hard. I got to look like a bad boy. I got to get more money than them. I got to make a beat that's harder than them. I have to do this and that, and I got to prove this, and I got to seem like I'm this way. And that, but then when we go home and we shut the door, we're living a completely different way, and we go, that wasn't really me. That's not really me. That was never really me. I was just putting on. I was trying to make people think that I was that way. And I'm sorry, but most of the music today, it's fake. It's fake. It's fake. It's plasticky. It's not real. It's not genuine. It's just people putting on for each other. It's an entertaining show, and I don't want to be an entertainer anymore. I want to be myself. I want to talk about things that I need to talk about and get things off my chest and cope and be as honest as I can with myself. See, I don't care about clout and recognition and a pat on the back and saying, oh, you're so much better than. I don't care about stuff like that. I don't care about any of that no more. And I think, well, I know for myself, this allows the thing to happen so much easier. It's like a weight off of my shoulder when I can just say, Nate, is this you or is this not you? Only you know if it's you or it's not you. And if it's not you, then why are you doing it? Why are you putting it on? Why are you putting it out? Why are you trying to be something that you know you're not for people? And I can't do that anymore. It's not in me to do. That part of me has died off. I don't care to look prideful or to say I'm tougher than, or look at the gun I have, or all the things that I'm wearing. I don't care about none of that. I care about uniqueness. I care about, if you feel how you feel, then let it be known. If you're going through something, you're depressed or you're stressed, then talk about that. Put that in the music. If you go to a job you don't like, but you know that you got to survive for now, talk about that. If you're someone struggling with drugs and you are addicted, talk about that. Maybe that will help you to overcome the drug addiction, you see? But we have got to get honest with ourselves. If we don't start looking at and resonating on our great calamity and our agape, then we're going to continually be putting up this wall where it's going to continually be me versus you. I have to be better than. I have to have more than. I have to prove that I'm this. I have to try to be. And what I might do, I might leave the link of the video down in the description so people can understand a little more what I mean, but the video will speak for itself. You see, words and noise and art speaks for itself. You don't even need to say a word, really. You don't even need to say anything. When you make something that you are in the moment is happening and you're doing that and putting it out, you don't even have to say a word to people. The music speaks for itself. The videos speak for themselves. You see, the sounds that you pick and choose, the thing that you did, the ingredients you picked, the no quantize, the quantize, the reverb, the EQ, the just everything, the attack, the decay, the sustain, is it analog? Is it digital? Is it software? Is it hardware? Like all of those things will speak through the art and the music and what you are saying as a person. And this is what I have learned for myself. I'm just speaking for myself. I can't speak for another human being. I can only speak for me. But I would like to think to each their own. I would like people to find their refuge mentality for everything that they do. Everything that they do. And that is my vision as a person. I haven't been putting out, I have a ton of music. I have a ton of music, a ton of writings, a ton of art that I have drawn. I have a ton of things. It's just I haven't been putting it out because it's almost sacred to me. You see, this source is sacred to me, kind of. And not that I'm looking at it in a religious way or some fanatical way. I'm just saying it is something that I didn't do anything to give to myself. It's through my environment, through my upbringing, through the people I was around, through, I guess, the culture at that time and what I knew where I didn't fit in, or uh, the way that I felt. Just everything summoned up the source. It's the source. It's the source of everything. It summoned anything that I do up. It's not me doing it. It's everything doing it. It's everything doing it. It's the water in my body. It's the food in my body. It's the cells, the organisms, the tetrahedrons, everything. The DNA, the synapses firing in my brain. It's everything doing this. See, we're so into this pride message, though. This pride message, this money message, this I'm tough message, this I'm better than message. I started from the bottom, now I'm here. I started from here, now I'm up here. See, there is none of that with me. None of that means anything. I want to be here in the moment. I want to be talking about what I feel like I need to talk about. I want to be that and that alone, and that will speak for itself. And that's what I'm ending the video on, to the MPC community, to the music community, to whoever makes music or loves sound or anything. Take care of yourselves, the best to you, even through the calamity, through it all, Agape. That is the source. That is the source that I think every human being will eventually get to if we're being honest with ourselves. That's what I think it will get to. Do I know that's going to happen for everyone? No, because I can't live another person's life. I can't do that. I can only live my own life. So I have to be a testimony unto my life and myself by the things, the actions that go on in my life, and being responsible for what I'm doing and rearranging and taking care of my own ingredients and my own body and my own health and everything that I do. You see, that's when it conjures up something that is almost unexplainable. It's mysterious. It cannot be explained through words. See, that's what I resonate with. So long. Take care. Till next time. Resonate. Later. This machine right here, do you know what people would have done for this? Look, this is what I made. This is what I made just a little bit ago. So I'll go out with this. It's all mathematics. let it flow. There is no stopping it.